a packed house. It is so great to see so many people here. If you've noticed in your programs that it says Heroes in Glory is first, you'll notice there's 2 empty chairs on the stage. I really hate to disappoint a lot of people who showed up maybe to see something, but the superintendent had a school committee meeting last minute, and so she didn't make it tonight. That's a joke. She will be here. We rearranged the order just a little bit. We had a snowstorm last week or 2 weeks ago on a Monday when we normally have youth band rehearsal. So we missed a rehearsal, and then, which for this project was threw off our timeline, and so we had to do some extra rehearsals. So we cut one piece that's on there. We're not going to be doing Sanctus tonight, and we rearranged things. Of course, this all happened after the programs were printed thing. So that was Soar with the Dragons. We will next be performing Scottish Lullaby. Thank you very much. This is the youth band. The youth band is designed for elementary level students, but it has members in elementary school, middle school, and high school. And the idea of the youth band is to give younger students who are just starting a chance to get mentored by our middle school and high school students. And sometimes mentoring is just being in a group with these older students who are playing either beside them or behind them and showing them how it goes. Sometimes just seeing someone else play it well is enough. Some students get one-on-one attention, and there's no real specific rule to what the mentoring is, but we do know that the results are quite obvious and dramatic, that it really helps the students to learn faster, and then they take this back to their lessons and they grow more. So the youth band has been, we've grown since when I started 7 years ago. I think I had 12 or 13 kids in the youth bands, and we put a lot of focus and emphasis on growing the youth band, and it's been, from my vantage point as the teacher at all the levels, it's been a major educational lever to get all of the groups sounding better. It's not just younger kids who get mentored. I noticed that the middle school students and high school students who come in and do the mentoring, you notice a different quality in their playing and their attitude, both in the youth band and in their own ensembles. So this idea of these multi-generational 4th to 12th grade students working together is really quite amazing to see, and it's great. It's been great for us. So we had a little challenge that we will show you a video about to show you how it got started. If you saw on the way in these posters about the innovator's mindset, if you came to our winter concert, you heard that I challenged the 8th grade band to learn All I Want for Christmas in like 3 weeks, and I was out sick for a couple days. So that was sort of like a mini challenge to get us going. But and as we get ready for Washington, D.C. this year with the high school band, I found this innovator's mindset in a book over the summer, and I was like, this is going to be good for me to use all year to kind of motivate the kids and get their brains really working, trying to get us ready for DC. And it really stuck. I thought it was just going to be one of those things that I do, and it was like, okay, we do it and move on. And it really stuck. You saw the color poster out there. Our band president, Thomas McAndrews, got that blown up. It was just a little handout, and it really became something that we did a lot in class and just talked about. It was sort of the answer to everything: innovator's mindset, challenge. So I wanted to find a way to model this myself. I wanted to find a challenge. If I'm going to keep telling the kids, find a challenge, overcome obstacles, like what could I do for this? So we came up with something. You have a minute?
A minute. I'm trying to get ready for a meeting.
So I have this idea, and it's crazy, and I'm challenging you to learn the saxophone in 8 weeks and play at the March Band Night concert. What do you think?
I think it's not happening. Space between notes doesn't do anything. It's just a physical spacing to print it. I was trying to think of a project just to relate to the band, where music is something that sometimes kids aren't sure if they could sign up for, and I wanted to show kids that this is something, if you want to do it, you can do it. I've spent enough time with the superintendent going over logistics for the band program to know that she thinks she could not do it. She's told me this many times over the past 6 or 7 years, so this to me was the challenge. So after Mr. Rapucci asked me to do this, I initially said no, because I know how bad I am at music, and this was really outside my comfort zone. But 2 things happened. First of all, Miss Moranto was going to do it with me, so I had a partner, and that helped, and she's just as bad as I am. And I thought it was a good way to model what we're trying to accomplish here in the district. We've shifted from teacher-centered to student-centered learning with an emphasis on personalization. Personalization doesn't mean you do what you want to do when you want to do it. It means you recognize what your challenges are, what you want to learn, you set reasonable goals, and you persist to achieving those goals.
I was extremely nervous at first. But what actually calmed me down is the fact that we didn't even hold the instrument for 3 lessons. There was so much background building and finding out what our background knowledge was, so that when we got the instrument, the saxophone, in our hands, which itself could be intimidating, we had already experienced a little bit of success.
The experience has been difficult, I have to admit that. It's gotten better, and it's gotten to a point where I actually enjoy practicing because it gives me something else to focus on and to think about.
People have wanted to know through the process as it came out that they were doing this, how they were doing, and I really have to say they did really well. This was not easy. There's obviously
a lot of pressure on them to actually pull this off once people knew about it. And they worked hard.
I think it has real value, and of course we all know from the research the value of the arts to other learning. And so I could really see encouraging any student to pursue this. I just hope I don't embarrass the kids during the concert.
If you watch us out there on the football field, or if you come to Memorial Hall and see us play for our Pops concert, and you think, wow, I would like to do that, you can. You can learn. We will teach you. It's not just me. There's a whole team of people, including upperclassmen. If you are in the youth band, we have high school and middle school mentors. The way that we operate as a band, and the orchestra is the same way, it's like community learning. That's also how we got here with the superintendent. I provide direct instruction, but she was also teamed up with Mrs. Moranto. They would work together a little bit. They would come to youth band. The kids would help them out. And this idea of everyone working together for everyone to learn is a very powerful idea, and it is absolutely how we got here in this amount of time. So they've been great sports, and it's been a fun challenge. I think they're going to pull it off tonight.
All right, thank you very much. I want to thank Mr. DiBenedetto and all of his fantastic video production students for putting that together and getting all the footage. We get a huge Melrose welcome for Superintendent Tamor and Principal Moranto. So this is what we call the Youth Band theme song, Heroes in Glory. I told you she'd have to say a few words of this for this. I think we have some family members out here. I love the faces. That's awesome. And some back there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you to the youth band who carried us. And I have to also acknowledge Mayor Inferno, who, if you can't see her, was back there playing the trumpet. this very much was about the work we do in the district and giving two administrators a chance to walk in our students' shoes. And let me tell you, this was hard. I'm exhausted. But when I think about the work we're trying to do, and a lot of it is changing the model of teaching to student-centered. We talk a lot about voice and choice, students understanding the why, the how, the what of what they're learning and how to learn best, and giving them choices on how to achieve. But none of this is possible without the talent of our teachers. We have incredible people. And if two senior learners can succeed in 8 weeks, just think what is possible when we all work together for the sake of our kids. Thank you very much.
Dance students have a little gift for you for all of your hard work. Thank you very much. We also, Mayor Inferno, we have something for you. Please come forward. I think that we needed a quick picture. Someone should we look? Melrose kids teaching here, being band director, is we play that tune every year, and it pretty much sounds the same every year, and the personnel is always changing. We have a euphonium, we have a tuba, we have a 6th grade trombone player. Hi, right? So sometimes I hear people say, like, how do you do it? This is how we do it. Everyone steps up, everyone does what's needed, and we pull it off. That's how we do it. Show the next tune. This next song, After Sunset, will feature our lead alto player, Evan Bowden. Evan Bowden. This concert's been a lot of fun to prepare for. It's also been slightly stressful, but it's really fantastic to see so many people here tonight. Thank you very much for coming. The band really appreciates your support, especially as we get ready to go to Washington, D.C. to represent the city of Melrose and the state of Massachusetts this May. We do have a sports raffle happening out in front of house at intermission. And you can win tickets to all 4 major Boston sports teams. So 2 tickets to the Sox, the Bruins, the Celtics, and the Pats. You win all of those. You get a chance to win that for just $10. And your support will help fund the polo shirts that the band will be wearing when we march in DC. So we appreciate your support. Thank you for coming out tonight. We have one more tune with the jazz band. And we hope to see you back in the second half. Thank you. Talbot on tenor sax. Thank you very much. We will see you in the second half. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Just a quick moment while we have so many folks here. Pat, families of elementary, middle, high school. On behalf of myself, I'm Jason Merrill, the principal of high school, Mr. Parsons, all the elementary principals. We just want to recognize and thank Mr. Rapucci. The work he does with the hundreds of students that he sees throughout the years. You can see from Friday night to tonight to the trip to Washington. It is truly, truly remarkable. So thank you.
Okay. Guantanamera, which translates into the girl from Guantanamo, is perhaps the best known Cuban folk song and that country's most noted patriotic song. In the 19th century, an anonymous popular song circulated with the words Guardia Guantanamera, which means peasant woman from Guantanamo. It was collected and arranged in 1932 by Josito Fernandez, who made it the hallmark of his orchestra. On behalf of my fellow flutists, band members, I hope you enjoy our rendition of Guantanamera.
Тум балалайка относится к номер разных русских стран. И Tум балалайка is attributed to a number of Eastern European countries, but is best known as a Russian Jewish folk love riddle song. Loosely translated, tu means noise, and the balalaika is a Russian stringed instrument with a characteristic triangular wooden hollow body and 3 strings, closely related to the damra and mandolin.
We had 97 kids on the roster when I counted, and we were putting out chairs. And as we transition in the middle school band, as we transition from the youth band portion of the concert to the middle school, and we look at all the students on stage, this is a product of that program. Our elementary lesson program that we've put a lot of effort into over the past several years has really started to take hold for us in both the band and the orchestra program, and the youth band and orchestra are really serving or doing what we intend for them to do, to be that place for kids to really get the hang of it and find out if they like it, and then mingle with other age levels. And we can see, the numbers don't lie. I guess that's what they say. We have about 100 kids in the middle school. We have in grades 5 to 8 right now on paper. And again, we know that there will be some reasons that they don't all make it to high school, whether they find another interest or they move. But there's 188 kids in grades 5 to 8. That's a 4-year span. So when you look at these kids and you add the current 5th graders and you think marching band, that's our future. And this has been a product of the really intense hard work from tons of people that you don't even know exist. They're in offices, they're in classrooms. I mean, we have really managed this down to the nitty gritty, where it has literally taken almost every classroom teacher in the district to cooperate with the system that we set up. And when I say we, I mean the music teachers and his administration. Like, we really sat down with a magnifying glass and said, how do we do this so that it works for our teaching and learning system? A lot of times trying to take kids out of lessons or taking the kids out of class for lessons as a stereotypical statement in public schools, that is sometimes very hard to do. So to get 5 elementary schools on board with this idea 6 or 7 years ago, and to let it take hold, and then have the youth band, and then have all the fundraising that we've done, and all the support from the community, this is what we see in front of us, and that's just 3 grades. High school is obviously 4 grades for the math makers out there. We're really excited as we move into the future about what the band is going to be doing. We're going to Washington, D.C. this year with the high school band. I've heard it in intermission. Some people didn't know this story, so I'll tell it briefly. That we were nominated by Senator Markey to represent the city and the state. We're the only band going to represent Massachusetts in the National Memorial Day Parade down in D.C. We did this, thank you very much. We did this 3 years ago when we were nominated by Congresswoman Clark, and so we got a taste of what it was like, and we were really hoping to go back someday, and so we feel really fortunate and grateful that Senator Markey has nominated us to go again this year. And as I work with the band students of all different grades and different levels, and I'm doing this long-term planning, it's really exciting. I mean, I stood up here a couple years ago in front of the middle school bands that was half the size or less, and the high school right now is actually a lot smaller, just because the high school is not currently a product of what we've implemented as a system. So when you're looking to see the things that we're doing, elementary, youth band, lesson program, all these things that you might hear us talk about, this is the product of that work. The high school kids are just doing a great job playing with their numbers and going out in the fields and representing and leading the way for this huge group of kids. And it's been, as a teacher, selling them on the idea of, even though you're not the band of 100, that you set the tone and you set the style and what we do here. I'm just so proud of how they embrace that role. So it's such a team effort. It becomes a cliche statement, but I'm just really proud of everyone that's here for their hard work. And thank you to everyone out there who helps make this happen, and all of the schools, all the administrators, all the teachers. This has been a collective effort, and thank you very much.
Dark Adventure by Ralph Ford is a musical journey through a strange and unfamiliar land, a land filled with mysticism and magic. We hope you enjoy this exciting adventure.
Our next piece is Toccata for Band, which was written by Frank Erickson. Erickson was born in Washington State in 1923. When he was 19, he served in World War II with the U.S. Air Force. During his time in the war, he arranged music for Army bands. After the war, he greatly expanded his musical career. He worked as a jazz arranger and played trumpet. Erickson went to school many times to earn multiple master's degree in music. Later in his life, he started his own publishing company to publish his own compositions. Frank Erickson passed away in 1996.
Thank you very much. As we get near the end of our program, I wanted to mention a few students and what they've done in outside or extra activities with music outside of school. Part of school music program is the opportunity to try out for junior districts and senior districts in all states. We've been fortunate to have students do this over the past few years, and the numbers seem to be increasing a bit. The intention is always, once kids see other kids do it, they see what's possible, and they follow in their footsteps, that we start to get more participation in this, and we've definitely been noticing this trend, so Mr. Miller and I and Mrs. Piper have been very happy about that. Because of the mic issue, I think we had one middle schooler who I forgot to mention in the mic hassle. So in junior districts this year, we had a 7th grader, which is very rare to have. You can try out for junior districts in 7th grade, 8th grade, or 9th grade. It's usually mostly 9th and 8th graders who make it. So to make it in 7th grade is a very big deal. And so if he's still out here, maybe stand up and wave. Chad Kudalides, are you out there, Chad, on trumpet? Congratulations. Our 7th grade trumpeter at Lincoln Junior Districts. There he is, I see his hand over there. Great job, Chad. There he is, way up there. Superstar. And then also in junior districts, we had a lot of freshmen make it. We had Sophia Weissman on flute. We had Colin Orman on trumpet. We had Bill Dugan back there in percussion. Bill got the highest score on snare drum of anyone in the Northeast District. He's the first chair snare drummer in the orchestra, the top score. Congratulations. And Bennett Swirsky, who was also in the Junior District Orchestra, the top score on clarinet. And we had 2 students make Senior District, Cole Lepler on euphonium, and Potomac Robbins on timpani. And so we're really very lucky, and in a band of this size, the number of kids that we've had do be in junior, senior districts this year, and about half the band is districts players. So that's really, we've been able to do the level of pieces that we've done because of the high skill level of the band, and everyone's been doing a really great job. Our goal for the year has been skill development as we get ready for DC, and trying to play the best that we can with the personnel that we have. That's always a major theme for us, and that was sort of the idea of Innovators Mindset, is how do we overcome, we're not that 100-person band at the middle school, so how do we go down there and do this? And so that really drove our thinking. This last piece that we played, we actually just started about a month and a half ago. So it's been really one of the challenges I've given to the students is time pressure, in a sense. We don't just start, the music you're hearing right now, we didn't start right after marching band necessarily. All of it might have been like in January or something. So using this to get them better and hopefully push more kids towards districts. So we see middle schoolers out there, hopefully you'll be trying out in the future, and maybe some more high school kids. Our last piece of the night, Land Against Balls. Sit back and enjoy this little Irish tune. Thank you very, very, very much for coming out tonight and supporting us. Thank you very much for Superintendent Tamor and Principal Moranto for indulging me in this challenge. I had a lot of fun with it. I know you won't tell people, but you had a lot of fun with it too. And we hope that everyone enjoyed the concert tonight, and we will see you in May for our Pops concert before we go to DC. Thank you very, very much.